Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live conversation. We are live here on YouTube and on Facebook. So I'm going to say thank you to everyone that is going to be joining us. So if you're joining on Facebook, let us know where you're joining from. Today's conversation, I am so excited about my guest. I'm going to get her to introduce herself in a minute, but today we're looking at the woman in ministry and her financial health. So if you're joining us here, you're welcome. My name is Olu Olabode, and I'm going to be hosting today's session. And my guest today is Mrs. Remi Wesley-Ogude, and she's going to be talking to us about the woman in ministry's financial health. It's going to be a phenomenal conversation. I'm really looking forward to it because these are some of the things that sometimes we don't really have time to really talk about in church. There's always like so much going on, but we want to look at, we want to, one of I was almost say for the Pastor's Wives Global, who is hosting this live conversations, 3 John 2 is our key verse, which the Bible says that I wish above all things that you prosper, that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. And that really connotes that, that we prosper in every area of life. Our soul must prosper, our spirit man must prosper, and in every area, financially, we must prosper, emotionally, every area must prosper. And that's why we're looking at prosperity in different areas of our lives. And that's why we're talking about this today. So if this is your first time of joining us, this is the Pastor's Wives Global platform. I've shared on the previous conversations that this June, we turned 3. This initiative started about 3 years ago, 2021. And as we were saying, we're getting ready for it. I was like, Lord, what do we do? We are turning 3. What are some of the things that we can do? What would you like us to do? God laid on my heart and said, why not have conversations about different areas of ministry that you don't really have time to talk about? So that's why we're bringing people that are professionals, people that this is what they do, and they've been a blessing to other people, and that's why we're having this in various areas. So as soon as you join us on Facebook, on YouTube, let us know where you are joining us from. So while we do that, I believe that we should just share. We're going to share the link. Let me share the YouTube link. If you're on YouTube, it's Pastor's Wives Global. If you want to watch on Facebook as well, it's Pastor's Wives Global. That will be where you'll be able to see what we're doing today. So I'm just going to share even YouTube. So just Pastor's Wives Global will be easy for people to find out. But I'm just going to share this even to let people know that we are live so that other people can join us as well. You can go ahead, man, share. And then we're going to start this conversation. Let's do this. Let me share the link to other people. We want as many people to join. If you're a woman in ministry, if you're a pastor's wife, you're a female pastor, whatever role you have, this is going to benefit you. Trust me, this is going to be a blessing to you. Yes. So I am just sharing it with others as well so that they can join us. Okay, man. While I do that, I'm going to ask our guest to kindly introduce herself. So, ma, you are most welcome to the live conversation today. So can I ask you kindly if you can introduce yourself, ma?
Thank you so much, Pastor Olabode, for having me. I'm so very grateful for being here and also thanking him for having remnants like you, people that can be relied upon, that are very passionate about their call. They are one of such people, and I'm so grateful to have connected with you. I want to first of all congratulate you on the occasion of your 3rd year ministry anniversary. And I believe, God, that the Lord has been your help in ages past, will be your help in years to come in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And I want to welcome everyone that is on the platform today and those who will be joining later on, those who will watch. My name is Remi Wesley-Ogude. I am a minister of God. By the grace of God, my husband and I lead a youth and young adults ministry. And I'm also a speaker, and I speak to 3 dimensions of life relating to wealth creation, wellness, and how people can have well-nourished soul.
Mm.
And also from career perspective, I'm an executive director in Springwell Consulting Company. It's a consulting company that consults for high net worth individuals here in Toronto, Canada. I also work as a registered nurse in one of the Canada's hospital based here in Toronto. I just want to make it short.
Hmm. Okay, so thank you, ma, for that. Yeah, that's a short introduction. Thank you so much, ma, for that introduction. And the next question I want to ask you is, we're talking about financial health here, like financial health. How did you get onto this journey of speaking to others about financial health? I think we should start from there.
I think it was a journey orchestrated by God. I started initially when I came to Canada. I came because I had had a finance background back home. I went to University of Lagos, studied BSc finance, after which I did MBA. That was before we relocated to Canada. On
Hmm.
getting here, I pivoted into health sector and went for another degree. University of Toronto, I did BSc
Hmm.
nursing because my children were young then, so that I could stay home. At least I had flexibility
Hmm.
around my schedule. My husband was working full time. I also was working full time at the time. I started with financial institution actually, in Royal Bank, in their mortgage department. But after
Hmm.
I started and I saw that most of the time my money, as I was earning, I was paying a lot in babysitting. I thought it wasn't
Hmm.
really worth it. So I prayed to God, what else can I do? I would still be home with my children and I also would contribute something. Then I had the leading to go for nursing. That was how I pivoted. And after
Hmm.
starting nursing, by the grace of God, I was doing well. But I saw that there was still something more. I enjoyed my job, but number one, when we were going to start the ministry, God spoke to my husband specifically that if we were not able to help the youth and young adults that were sent to resolve their financial
Hmm.
issues, we will not be too relevant in their space. So
Wow.
that's number one. It was a divine instruction. But little did we know what was going to unfold later, that we ourselves were going to even have financial problems or
Hmm.
challenges. So as soon as I finished from school, when I pivoted into health sector, I was looking for a job. I was in
Hmm.
transition. Suddenly, my husband also lost his job, which was like he
Wow.
was finance director in one of the logistic company in North America. So when he lost the job, I also was in transition. So it's like both of us were not earning, and we just started,
Hmm.
you know, we just got a big house then. Our children were being prepared to go to university. So that was a very, very tough one
Wow.
for us.
That's a hard
Anyway,
one.
by the time God restored our job, I
Hmm.
don't want to go through that experience again. So that's
Hmm.
thinking. We started
Hmm.
thinking, how else could we go about our journey of being
Hmm.
financially independent? Remember the instruction God gave us that will not be relevant if we don't do something. And trust
Hmm.
me, a lot of youth and young adults and people that were coming into the ministry now, they were actually coming into the ministry, they were drawn in because of that financial struggle that they were.
Hmm.
A lot of them come because they now know that this couple, by the grace of God, God gave them insight into at least wealth creation, and coming in has been a great advantage. So what drove me into it, number one, it was a divine instruction. God told us that will not be relevant if we don't. So I started reading.
Yeah.
My husband and I started, and we went into business by the grace of God, and God has helped us to build sizable, portfolio in real estate. So that was the beginning of the journey. And because of the pain we went through, and because a
Hmm.
lot of people that are coming into the ministry or that are in our space, this is the same problem they are having. So as they're coming, I will not open my eyes and see them go through the same pain
Hmm.
I've been through without telling them what to do. So we encourage them to start the journey on time.
Wow. Woo, you just shared a very practical practical lesson. It's interesting. You see people doing things, but you don't even
Yeah.
know that is their life experience that causes
Yes.
them to
Yes.
step into it. Because you think, oh, this person is a nurse,
Yeah.
why is she so passionate? Because I know, for example, now you have just written two books about
Yes.
financial health, which we are going to go into later.
Yeah.
But there must have been a reason why. And I
Yes.
love the way you said God laid on your heart, the young adults,
Yes.
because you truly, finances is one of the areas that we see even in marriages. Is one of the things that causes divorce. Is one of the things
Yes.
that people think about the most when researchers found out when the finances are not in order, everybody is not happy. The husband is not
Mm-hmm.
happy, the wife is not happy. If
The
and it
children
is
are.
now worse. The children are not happy. Thank you. It's now
Mhm.
worse when you are even in ministry, you
Yes.
know. And so you started using this to teach others. So
Yes.
what would you say has been your, in ministry, what has been your experience like in sharing this information? What has your experience been like?
Ben, it's actually been very exciting. I'm number one happy that God gave me the privilege to do what I was doing. Because I'm like, I'm here now. I had, MBA finance degree.
Hmm.
I started with Royal Bank, then I pivoted. Is it going to be a waste? All my investment. I didn't
Hmm.
know God was packaging me to help other people. So knowing what I knew, and after starting this journey, and when we started our consulting company, a lot of people that have been coming to us, God has used all those investment of years to help them.
Hmm.
You know what I found out? A lot of people don't even know that they need to have this financial education and literacy
Yeah.
until they are cornered. And that was my own. That was the trajectory of my life. I was cornered. I
Yeah.
was not intentional. I didn't know it's something I needed to do. So because a lot of people think because they are earning well, high income, and that's it for them. They are doing well, they can pay their bill. They are not talking about the future. When you talk about financial health, you are not talking about just being able
Hmm.
to meet your commitments now, your financial commitments now. You're talking about the future. You're also talking about being a blessing to others. And that's exactly the
Hmm.
story of the woman in Proverbs 31. That's what she's been
Yeah.
able to do, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of people are stuck in one level. There are two levels when you're talking about this. And when we are trying
Hmm.
to explain this to the younger generation, the level of
Hmm.
Proverbs 14:23, where God says there's profit in labor, which is very fantastic. We encourage everybody to start working, start earning. But what becomes of you? Are you going to be stuck there? What I'm telling people is that when you are working, you are just the asset. You are
Hmm.
working and you are not creating assets to replace, you, or to begin to generate passive income for you. One day you can be promoted, you can be doing certification or engaging in different training to help yourself. What happens if the owner of the ladder takes the ladder? As in, you suddenly lose your job. You will just find yourself starting the job, starting the journey from the
Hmm.
beginning. That was the situation of my husband. So I tell people, listen, it is good. I started there. I still work, but I'm not relying on that. I do it when I like. Now, the whole thing, what I depend mostly on is the passive income. And that is in that Psalm 127 verse 2, where the Bible says that
Hmm.
God provides for those he loves while they are sleeping. That is passive
Sleeping.
income. So I
Mm.
move from Proverb 14:23 woman to Proverbs and to Psalm 127 to woman. That is exactly what Proverbs 31 woman did, who is a role model to us as people in ministry. Because as a woman in ministry,
Mm.
everybody comes to you. They want
Yeah.
you to help them resolve their financial issues, either give them money, their tuition, and this and that and that, there's treatment they have to attend. So you point them to that Proverb 31 woman. That's exactly what she did. Proverbs 127, Psalm 127 verse 2 told us that there's a way you make money while you are sleeping. So when you
Sleeping.
start as
Mm.
in laboring, ensure that you are also putting plan in place to be able to do what? To transition. That's what our experience has been. And a lot of them
Mm.
have been. They didn't know they needed it until we started putting them together to learn on how they
Mm.
can transition from just working and earning salary to what? To earning, to begin to invest. Warren Buffett said something. He said, if you
Mm.
do not learn if you don't learn how to put your money to work, you will work for the rest of your life. That is, you will work till you die. So
Please,
learn
man,
to,
can you say that again? That is so powerful. Mm.
okay, I'm going to say it slowly to buttress that Psalm
Yeah.
127, verse 2.
Mm.
Warren Buffett said, if you do not learn, the word is learn. If you
Hmm.
do not learn how to make your money, how to put your money to work when you are sleeping, if you don't learn how to put your money to work when you are sleeping, you will work for the rest of your life, or you will work
Hey.
until you die, either one. If you
Wow.
don't learn how to put your money to work, you will work for the rest of your life, which is telling you, which is
Hmm.
corroborating with what the scripture has said, that God
Hmm.
provides for those. In that Psalm 127, verse 2, He provides for those He loves while they are sleeping. When I got that
Hmm.
insight, I say, wow, I have to
Wow.
put, because when you put assets together that
Hmm.
generate income for you, you can sleep. You have
Wow.
investment asset. There are 4 asset classes that create wealth. You have commodity, you have business, you have real estate, you have paper assets. If you have any of those, when you are sleeping, your account just be increasing. And that's exactly what the Proverbs woman in Proverbs 31 did. She started laboring with her hands. Then she
Hmm.
progressed, to somebody who now went to buy land. The Bible says she
Hmm.
went to buy land at some point after she has labored with her hands. So she moved from that Proverb
Hmm.
14:23 to Psalm 127 verse.
7. Hmm.
So she's just fulfilling that. That's why the husband is not ashamed, right?
Wow.
And the children are well clothed, are well fed. So that's what we tell them. Don't wait until your boss tells you the job is over, because you want to start putting something together to invest. And that has been our own experience up to today. And that's what we are teaching them. And I'm happy a lot of them are changing. I'll use an example of a lady who was in my space when we started. Some of them, I'll put them together and I'll be teaching them. And I asked them, how are you planning about your investment journey? What have you done? I will ask the men, I will ask them. And one told me, she's a lady, and she said, listen, I don't think I'm the one to be providing for the home. I think I want to marry a man that is very comfortable,
Hmm. That
that
will
will
provide.
why I am doing God's work. Because we're talking about women in ministry, and some people don't understand. They just feel that being a woman in
Hmm.
ministry is just doing God's work. They don't even know that
Yes.
God thrives on on your
Hmm.
financial ahead. You have to leverage on that finances to be able to work
Hmm.
and to do work well. And I said, what? You're going to stay there and you are not going to do anything. You're going to allow a man, number one. I told her about the implications of what she's doing. I'm thankful to God now, because now as I'm talking, the person is in her space and she's bought about 2 houses. She's fine. She's doing
Wow.
because, and
Hmm.
the same thing I tell the ladies here. I tell you, listen, your husband may be doing very, very well. I read something in
Hmm.
one of the Kiyosaki's wife's book, Rich Woman, and she said something. She said about
Hmm.
50%, over 50% of women who are widows, who have become poor, they were once rich when their husbands.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
a lot of them were not taking,
Wow.
they were not taking steps to build themselves. So they didn't know how the money
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
made. They didn't have an idea, the skills to be able to grow the money until their husband passed away. I actually even had one that was in my spirit that
Hmm.
was in that position that confessed to me that truly when the husband was alive, the husband was doing everything. She didn't pay attention. And that's why I
Wow.
tell the women in ministry, I said, listen, your financial destinies will be at the mercy of financial predators if you don't know your left from your right.
Ah,
After your husband,
your
God forbid,
financial destiny will be at the mercy of financial predators. Hmm.
yes, the financial presence. That was what happened. That was what Kim Kiyosaki was saying there. Say a lot
Yeah.
of them didn't, they were not poor when their husband was alive. When their
Hmm.
husbands were alive, they were rich, but they became poor after the husbands dead because they didn't have an idea of how the money was made. Neither did they know how to manage it nor multiply it. So they left their financial destinies. I'm the one that said that they left the financial destiny at the hands of the financial predators because those ones will confuse them, mess up their finances, and eat up their money. That's what, so we teach them all of this, and I'm thankful to God that they've been able to. The word is learn. If you remember
Yeah.
what I said
Hmm.
about what, well,
Yes.
if you don't learn,
Learn.
is the
Hmm.
skill is learnable. And like they
Yeah.
say, money
Hmm.
grows on skills, not on trees. If you don't learn the skills,
Woo!
you will be in that Proverb 14, 20, which there's nothing wrong with it. And even when you move to Psalm 127, you're still going to work. It's not that you won't work, but you won't be the asset. You will have put the asset together. The asset will be working for you while you are sleeping. That's why when the woman bought the land will be appreciating one day. She will just come and see that, oh, the land she probably bought for maybe $20,000 has risen
Wow.
to about 50,000. So while
Wow.
she's sleeping, it is appreciating. She didn't have to do anything. So both women, they still need to work, right? It's
Hmm.
just like we're talking about hard labor. So
Yeah.
when you start with hard labor, don't wait and work for the
Hmm.
rest of your life. That's the lesson we teach them. And it's been an
Hmm.
exciting journey, the way they have been responding. And I'm grateful to God to be part of
Wow.
people's. That's what I'm
Hmm.
doing about what God has given me. And
Wow,
it gives
wow, wow. When you start with hard labor, don't stay there. That
exactly,
one stuck. There are too many things that I wrote down. Don't
exactly.
stay there.
Don't
I love the way you connected Proverbs 14:23. If you are just joining us, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Please share this with others. Put your comments in the, let's see your comments so that we can learn from one another. You know, there was something that you said. You said that you quoted Warren Buffett. He said, if you do not learn how to put your money to work while you are sleeping, you will work for the rest of your life. And he reminded me of even the woman the woman and the wife of the son of the prophet that they came to take her two sons.
are two sons. Very true.
That's it. That's another example.
Yeah. Very
So
right. Very
sometimes
correct.
you see people like you said, ma, they were walking while they were
Mm.
going to, forgetting that even as they get older, they are not going to
Yeah.
have the same stamina, the
Mm-hmm.
same ability to work. Also, you see some people have worked and then they've retired, but
Mm-hmm.
you now find out that I'm seeing it even more and more now, especially in the
Yeah.
culture that we live in. People
Yeah.
are going back. They not say I'm semi-retired.
Mm-mm.
So when are they going to enjoy the
The
retirement?
habit of
When somebody retires at 65 and they have to go back
back to work.
to work, it's a serious, and I'm so grateful that you're sharing these practical points with us today. There was something that you said that I wrote down here. You said, how can, and it's a question I want to ask you, ma. You spoke
Okay.
about us being intentional about our financial health.
Okay.
So you've spoken about some of them, but what are some of the other ways that we can be intentional? Because you said that's the word, is being intentional.
Yeah.
Like that lady now that you use as an example, she was intentional about it because you showed her the way, you taught her
Exactly.
this is what you do. It's
Okay.
easy to be careless, but how can one be intentional about one's financial health so that we don't end up in the place that woman with the that were coming to take her two sons, where she ended up? We don't end up. In fact, there were so many of them that
Of
we
them in the
can
Bible.
in the Bible. The
Mm.
woman that said, "I only have a little bit jar of oil." There
Yeah.
was, this is all I have. We don't just stay in that Proverbs 14:23 so that we are able to progress to where it becomes passive income. Can you
Okay.
share some of the ways that we can be intentional about
Thank
it?
you very much. Yeah. I'm going to say there are two ways we can do it. I'll look at immediate steps you can take now. And I'll also talk about long the long-term steps you
Mm,
can take or the steps you can take much later, but we begin the journey now. But I want to use this Proverbs 31 woman to demonstrate it. The
mm,
two I expressed here. She started with this. The Bible says, I'll read it here. She seeketh wool and flax, worketh
mm.
willingly with her hands.
With
That's
our
where the hard labor.
hands.
When
Mm,
your hands are there, when you have to go to job you don't like, when you have to work, when you don't like the days of the week, you don't like the
mm,
hours. There have been times also that I have to go, negotiate with my boss. I can't work on Sunday because I'm a woman in
mm,
ministry. I have to be in church. So she had to put up with that. That's Proverbs. She was fulfilling Proverbs 14:23 there. Then she moved. The Bible says from there, after she probably has saved enough, because I'm going to go to the practical point, but I want to tell you that even the scripture states
okay.
it. And it says, she considereth a field and buyeth with the fruit of her hands. She planted a vineyard. Considereth a field means she bought land. Field is land.
Hmm,
She moved from that, and I will go to show you the different quadrants, wealth quadrants, what the woman did. So she just
hmm,
transitioned from that proverb to Psalm 127 and put in place assets that will do what? That will be giving her money, passive income while she's sleeping. And it goes on and on. And she's able to do what? The Bible says in verse 20, she stretched out her hands to the poor. Yea, she reached forth her hands to the needy. That's why she's
mm,
been a blessing. That's when she's able to fulfill her destiny. Now, the practical steps to be intentional. Number one, get a good job, whatever. I'm going to move very fast and I want to articulate those things. Get a good job. If you don't have good job, whatever you have to do, if you have to retrain, I came here, I felt that, okay, I needed something better. Just wait. Once you have a job, start saving. When you are saving, don't save after spending. There's a difference. Save
mm,
before spending. A lot of people save after they have spent, so they save whatever is
mm,
left. Have a predetermined percentage. If it is, I have to pay my tithe, after my 10% of what's left, I will have to save it first. And
mm,
let's set up an automatic, device that will just take the money right from the source, your salary, and go into that. It doesn't even touch your hand, so you are not tempted to
yeah.
spend it.
Mm,
That's so very important about saving, because people come to, I can't say. I say no. It's all discipline. If you have the
mm,
financial discipline, you'll be able to save. The third one, get out of debt. When I'm saying debt, bad debt. Bad
mm,
debts are loans that you take to do things that will not give you income. I maybe celebrate. I'm not saying those celebrations are not good, but like if you have taken money loan to celebrate maybe your milestone, your 50th birthday or your wedding, it's not going to, it ends there. You're not going to generate income from it. So, and some of those bad debts, they are high interest paying. So you have to pay high interest to be able to sustain it. Why not? So get rid of it as
mm,
much as you can. It's only the debt you are using to, fund your business that is giving you money that should consider. That is a good debt. That one, there's no problem because you are getting passive income from it. So get rid of
mm,
bad debt. The third one, start budgeting. Budgeting
mm.
because you want to control your expenses. You don't want to always spend much more than what you earn. I'm talking about
Wow.
financial planning. I've moved a little into financial planning. So
Yeah.
when you save, when you budget, you control what you are also spending, and you're able to save more. The thing
Mm,
you also want to do is to get emergency fund. Make sure about 3 to 6 months of your income you are saving, so you can have something to fall back on in case of emergency. People lose their job. We don't pray,
yeah.
but even good companies, oil company, they fire people now without notice. So you need to,
Mm,
at least there's no job security anywhere. No job is really well absolutely secured. So you want to put emergency fund there. Then the long run steps you can take is financial literacy. That is where I'm going. You
mm.
must be able to position yourself to move. In the school of wealth, we have a wealth quadrant, which I'm going to show you. See, my book that I've written, I don't know if people can see it, but you might not be able to see it. Just to explain
We can see, they might not be able to see, but at least you can explain.
yes, I can explain. So on the left side of this quadrant, wealth quadrant, we have employee and self-employed. On the
Mm,
right side, we have business and investment. On the left, right, where we have employee and self-employed, that is where people are sweating the most. There's nothing wrong being there,
yeah.
like I'm explained. As I'm an employee, I still work, but like I said, at my times when I want to, not like before. Before when I started, it wasn't like that. Self-employed also,
Mm,
you are there. Maybe you are a doctor, you are a lawyer, accountant that is practicing on your own. You have your business, but to a very limited level. So you are there. The problem with this uh, quadrant is that if you are not there,
mm.
you cannot earn salary.
You
If you don't go
can
to work,
earn.
except
Yes.
you're on vacation. If you are saying the day
Mm,
you don't go to your store or your this thing, you can't earn. But when you are, these are the people that Warren Buffett is telling that if you remain on this quadrant, you don't move quadrants and position yourself to start moving quadrants, you may not be able to actually be financially comfortable both now and in the long run. So the business and investment quadrants are the ones that are in that space. When I said the woman, Proverbs 31 woman moved from where she was
yeah.
using her hand to buying real estate and buying things, so that when she's at home, she's into 3 asset classes. There are 4 asset classes that create wealth: commodity, real estate, paper assets, and business. And this is the If you already know that, I'm going to a point. That's why I'm trying to show you this quadrant and the
Yeah.
first great work. Knowing
Hmm.
this quadrant, if you are hearing me today or you will watch this video tomorrow or anytime, you are in this E and S. There's nothing wrong, like I said, absolutely not. That's
Hmm.
always the starting point for all of us. But don't be complacent and stay there until
And
you
stay
retire.
there. Hmm.
Now begin to position yourself. How do I move to the right quadrant of the west quadrants?
That's the wealth quadrant.
Yes,
Hmm.
the West corner I just showed you in my book. Now, begin to think of the four asset classes I've just enumerated or spoken about. Which
Commodity,
of
real
them,
estate,
commodity, real estate,
paper
paper
assets,
asset,
and business.
and business,
Hmm.
which of them can I go into? Begin to position yourself to begin to read about it. If you want to do real estate, how do I begin? Start thinking, praying. If God
Hmm.
is leading you to that direction, all of them are equally good. It doesn't have to be real estate. It doesn't have
Hmm.
to paper as anyone based on your preference, your skills, your expertise, your experience. My experience, my skills that determine what I also do. And also praying to God, allowing God to guide me. So once you know the area you want to focus on, you can begin to read about it. You can begin
Hmm.
to listen to people, their podcasts. Who are the people in my space that already have done this? I'm talking about the long run steps or
Yeah.
solution to this
Yeah.
problem. I've talked about the short run or immediate steps. I'm not talking about the other things you need to do is to give yourself to financial literacy. And this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to say, okay, I have money. I want to now invest. If you go do that and you don't learn, I always remind you of what whenever if you don't learn how to put your
Yeah. Ah, that
how
that
to
that
invest,
that quote is so powerful.
that's
If you
learn.
don't learn, yeah,
Exactly, because we have to learn. These skills are learnable, and that's what I tell people. Well, I
to
don't know
put
how to
your
do this. I don't
mind
know
to
how.
learn.
There were so many things I didn't know how to do. Before,
Hmm.
when I was in Nigeria, it was only my husband that was into paper asset stuff. When I got here, I did paper asset.
You
I
learn
did
stock
it.
and all of that.
I learned
Hmm.
it. I got people to teach me. I got mentors. I read book. I did a lot to be able to. That's financial literacy. So identifying any of those asset classes that you think can help you, begin to read. Don't go and identify it and just start it. We did that because
Hmm.
at the time I was stuck. I just wanted to do something different because of what I
Hmm.
told you that we went through. I said, I don't want to find myself
Hmm.
in this position again. More so, I'm not getting younger. I wasn't getting younger. I need to do something. So we just started real estate like that, blindly, because we didn't have anybody
Hmm.
in our space to teach us. Yeah,
Hmm.
we
You
made a lot
make
of mistakes,
mistakes.
but we really learned. And I
You
tell you, even
learn.
that same
Hmm.
first one that we did, we still made a fortune in terms of profit with all our mistakes and
Hmm.
experience before we now started getting mentors and we're understanding it. And that's the knowledge transfer we're giving to our generation now. But if we did not do anything, if we're afraid that we're going to make mistake, we'll not be where we
Hmm.
are. The fact that we're not
Hmm.
afraid, we did something. But what I'm now telling people, don't do like I did. I did it because I needed mentor, I wanted, but I didn't see. But now
Hmm.
there are a lot of mentors there. There are a lot of books there. There are a lot of seminars,
Yeah.
podcasts, things you can do.
Yeah.
Learn. Once you have identified the asset class, if it is paper asset, if it is commodity, if it is business, if it is identify it, start reading about it. Then who are the people in my space? You can even start with the people, even in your church, your friend. Who are the people who are doing this thing? Maybe I can just get some information to them from them that can help me to know how to start the journey. Then pick books. There are books on Amazon. There are even free books, e-books that we can read sometime and begin to learn and take steps. Even when you make mistake, they say the only true mistake you make is the one you don't learn from. As long as you learn,
Yeah. As long as you're learning.
you will
Yes.
improve. So that's
Hmm.
how we start. That's my, you know, what people may consider if they want to go about this journey of being intentional about taking steps that can help them to be financially healthy, because financial health means you're comfortable now, you're comfortable, your future financial um, needs are also secured, and also you're a blessing to people both now and tomorrow. And that's exactly the case of this woman in
Hmm.
Proverbs 31. She's secure
Yeah.
today, she's secure tomorrow, she's a blessing to others, and that's where a woman in ministry should be. So
Hmm.
uh,
Wow.
that's just where I'm going to end that question.
Hmm. I love the way you brought in the Proverbs 31 woman. In fact, you have let me see her from a different perspective. I'm going to go back and study that woman because the lessons you pulled out of her. I know you, first of all, you started with saying that you start with that labor, that hard labor, Proverbs 14
Yes.
23. But
Yes.
then she didn't, you don't stop there.
Mm-hmm.
So from hard labor is when you go to Psalm 127, verse 2, which is while we
Exactly.
are sleeping, passive income is coming in. But
Exactly.
when we now go and look at that Proverbs 31, the amount of, when looking at, as you were going, talking about
Mm.
her, the steps that come out of there, it was so eye-opening. And I'm
Mm.
sure it's what a lot of people may not even have paid attention to. We
Mm.
always say, yes, she was the one that, she rose up early, she
Yeah.
bought land, we
Yeah.
picked up all those, but
Yeah.
I don't think most people have per se looked at the progression,
Yeah.
which is and you talked about that, how you started, okay, fine, we just want a change,
Yes.
but then there must be an intention to say, I want to be financially free, but now I'm going to get education. That education is so key,
Mm.
because even as you are doing something, you don't want to
Mm.
stay there. So you
Mm-hmm.
went to school, you went to retrain, you
Mm.
got a better job, and that's how you were able to, you spoke about savings. I wrote them down, which the
Mm.
nuggets are just too many. I couldn't even be typing them in there.
Mm.
So you went back to school. You talked about us starting to save, and then not before we spend, which
Mm-hmm.
happens to a lot of people. And because also, like you
Not
said,
after we not after we spend. We
not
must
after,
save
sorry,
before we
not
spend.
after we spend.
Yeah.
It's almost like the way they take taxes. Like
Exactly.
the
You got
government will
it.
never ask us before they take taxes. They will
Exactly.
just take their own. And the
Mm-hmm.
same way, and we need to set up that automated,
Exactly.
so that as they are taking taxes, your savings is going. It's just automated.
Exactly.
So I want us to, but the one thing, because we're talking about particularly about women in ministry, I know there is this thin line whereby people expect you to constantly give.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I want us to just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Constantly
Yeah.
give, give, give,
Yeah.
give, give, give,
Yeah.
give.
Yeah.
How do we draw the line between the
Mm.
giving
Mm.
and the intentionality of, I also need to put this aside for the assets, I
Mm.
need to put this aside for the savings? How do we draw that
Mm.
line? Because
Mm.
like you said, we're often being a blessing to everybody around us.
Yes. Yes. It is expectation, and it is a high expectation, especially when you either a pastor or a pastor's
Yeah.
wife. But you don't
Everybody
have to
expects you
give
will give.
exactly. And the most unfortunate thing is that they don't know that you also have needs. And
Yes, ma, you have
especially when they
needs.
see
Nobody
you,
thinks
they
of
think,
that.
oh, she after all,
The
she has
pastor
this, she
always
has
has.
that, this is pastor's wife. It is good to give. There's blessing. The Bible says
Mm,
that it is more blessed to give than to receive, right? And there are a lot of
yes.
blessings around giving. And that's how also we thrive. However, you have to check your post. Number one, you don't live to people's expectation. It's not done. You shouldn't. You can't even meet up. And when you the more you do it, the more even that there's likelihood that people don't even appreciate it. They don't want to even consider, and they will
Yeah.
make more demands
Mm,
on you. And we experience
mm.
this a lot, especially after my husband started speaking about money. In fact, I had to say it publicly that because I'm talking to money, I'm not thinking that I'm not expecting to come tomorrow and make a demand on me quite a lot. And some of those
Mm,
demands, sometimes they are ridiculous. And he wants to say,
yeah.
this person say I should come and do this, I should come and so that's
It's
not
like
it.
you have an unquenchable tree behind your house.
Exactly. And then just start. But what I find useful is this. Yes, I still help people. I'm intentional about my giving. In fact, as I'm taking my tithe, I take part of it and say this is for giving. So mostly a lot of time, I don't meet everybody's need. Some of those needs, they don't catch me unaware because I've saved for them. I know they are coming. That's why I want God to
Mm,
bless me. I want to be like that provider. That's why I took
yeah.
time to read about 3 or 4 verses of what she was doing that I picked. I
Yeah.
was reading yesterday and I meditated a lot on those scriptures and said, wow, this
Mm,
is a role model.
so
This is how I want
powerful.
my life to be. So and God was opening my eye. I didn't even see those things before. I started
Mm,
connecting. So I still want that part of blessing to be a blessing to people. I'm somebody that I'm addicted. I love to give. However, knowing that even if you give people money, it doesn't last. You can't be
mm.
giving fish. You have to teach them how to
To
fish.
fish.
So that word transfer, if you're asking me anything that I've gained from this experience in all, is that knowledge that I'm able to pass on to
Mm,
my generation. Somebody said, you teach a man something, you have taught an individual. When you teach a woman anything, you have taught not just the woman, you have taught a family, you have taught a nation,
uh,
you have taught a community. She will spread it all around. That's the kind of woman I want to be. I want to
Mm.
transfer the knowledge. I'm a woman in ministry, and I'm encouraging every woman in ministry that is hearing me. When people are making demands on you, you can't give them all they want. They may not be very happy with you in the short run, but when you are willing and you're intentional about transferring the knowledge to them and their eyes are open, they will be eternally grateful for your life. That was what I told you about that lady I was telling. When that was telling you, oh, she wants
Yeah,
to just stay under the cover of her husband,
about
just be doing
husbands.
ministry work. And I told her to tomorrow. She's very grateful. So I started coaching her, bought 2 houses, you know, within a
Hmm.
space of even the third one now, she's on it. But we had to keep teaching them. You know, she wasn't coming, give me money, give me money. But I'm saying that even some people who come, give money, give money. You can't give money. That's more than money. That will last more than the money you will give the person.
Hmm.
But don't hurt yourself because you want to. My colleague, if one because you want to give everybody everything they want. My colleague yesterday was talking. He said they were mounting pressure on her. She was talking like a lot of pain and passion. Everybody, sister, this one is married. She's the one responsible for her sister. She's responsible for her sister's children. So
Hmm.
all of us are looking at her. I said, don't let them kill you. I just said it jokingly, but what am I saying?
But
You
you're
must
right.
know your
Hmm.
limits. If they kill you and you die, they will move on. They
They
will
will
not
move
die.
on to somebody else.
Exactly. Anyway,
Hmm.
so I think that has answered the
Hmm.
question to how we should be able to maintain the balance while we are giving.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. There's like, in fact, there are so many points that you've shared. So I'm going to
Mhm.
get you to share about your 2 books. But before you do, I'm going to, okay, I'll get you to share about your 2 books and then we'll take your last words. So you
Okay.
have just written, you have other books, but you've written 2 books on finance, which I'm waiting to go and get my own copies. So please,
You
Ma,
have to
can you
get it.
just share with us about those? They are not the one is on real estate. You know, when
Yeah,
you've been doing something for a while, then you
yeah,
bring the book out, then we can
I
glean
know.
more because like you've shared a lot of points here, but we can't get as much.
As
Yes,
much,
thank you,
yes.
Damlola. While giving, ensure to maintain a balance. You are so right.
Oh,
So you
oh,
don't become Elsha. If
I
you
know.
want to become El Shaddai, you shall die. You are not
It's
God.
true. No.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. Like I told you, what I'm so super excited about is the knowledge. It's not even the money. That I'm
Hmm.
privileged to be able to share the knowledge. I had to go into this journey. This is one of the book. I will show you. I don't know if people can see it. The
Yeah, can you
intentional.
tell us the title of that one?
It's intentional financial independence.
Intentional financial independence. People, go and get it.
Independence. Intentional financial independence. That's one. I will tell you a little about each of them and why I had to write it. And the second one is the basics of real estate investments. And there's no way I can talk about my books without talking about Mr. Olabode and what God used her to do,
Uh-huh.
encouraging me to write those books. And I'm happy I was able to write it. One of the reasons why I wrote those books is some of the things I've shared with you. I just shared a little. How many can I share? Where do I even start? Where do I end? It's a lot. People in our space, especially when they go about their investment journey, just dabbling into it. I made that mistake, like I told you. I recovered. And that's what I tell them when they
Hmm.
come. So when they were coming, they would tell us about their horror stories, why they don't want to go into investment again. I had to encourage them.
Hmm.
I know of a particular that say, I will not touch real estate with the longest of
Longest
no
talk.
more, no more. Why?
Hmm.
Because they lost a lot of money. Why? Because they
Hmm.
didn't seek knowledge. They didn't go
Hmm.
about it the right way. No, there is no investment that is risky. Only risky investors we have. It's one of our mentors that says it. He said there are no risky investments. We only have risky investors. The risky investors are
Hmm.
people who don't take time to learn before they start. They dabble into it. I've been there. So it's not like I'm here
Hmm.
talking down on anybody. I made that same mistake because I was desperate. Like I said, I
Hmm.
learned and moved on. But I will not encourage anybody to do the same and repeat my mistake. Learn is always better. Maybe if we had learned, we would have avoided some of the mistakes. So
Hmm.
why did I write the book, The Intentional Financial Independence? I wrote it, and mainly what I wrote in the book is about how
Hmm.
you need to be intentional. Don't be complacent where you are on your journey. Don't wait, especially as a woman in ministry. I read
Hmm.
interesting story of a woman, not read. Did I hear or stumble into it? You might know her. Her name is
Hmm.
Sophie Tucker. She's an uh, American entertainer. She said something, and you
Hmm.
alluded to some of the things she said, and I will re-echo her again and then tell you what I wrote in this book. I still have a little time. Let me quickly run with it.
Yeah.
And she said, as a woman, between age 0 and 18, you need a very good parent. She said between age
Hmm.
18 and 35, as a girl, she's talking about girl now, girl, woman, it doesn't matter. We're talking about the sex. Age 18 to 35, she said, you need very good look. That's when you're building your self-image. You want to marry, that's the age group. So from 35 to age 55, you need good character.
Character.
She
Hmm.
said from 55 upward, you need what? Guess what? You need good cash.
You need good. You
You
need
need
good
good
cash.
cash. Imagine. And I'm like, okay, if you wait till age 55 and above
Before
to
you are
start
looking
having
for good
good
cash, you
cash,
will not have it.
you are too late. You are too late to come into the game. So when I thought about intentional financial independence, I'm talking about you starting the game on
Hmm.
time. Learn about the money game. Enter into that game on time. Don't be
Hmm.
too late, because a lot of people rely because I'm earning well. They are not even giving thought to it. They don't even know there's a
Hmm.
possibility. They are not aware about their financial independence. They just
So
feel that
that knowledge is key.
it's
Yeah.
key. You don't dabble into it and be intentional. Don't enter into it. Because I asked the lady, I said, is from age 0 you start needing money? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
From when
Is
you
it
are
age
a child?
55 that you start needing money?
Yes. From the very beginning of your life to the very end. So you need to be very intentional. That's why I wrote this book. And the steps you can take, how you can get there. It's a journey. It's not something you can start one day and
Yeah.
end one day. It keeps going. You may not be perfect, but as you start it, you make mistakes, but you know that you have put some assets, you know, just in case the owner of the ladder takes the ladder. Don't just focus on building your skills, on making your employer rich and doing everything within
Hmm.
your corporate world to climb from being a manager, director,
Hmm.
executive director, this and that, without, you are just helping your employer to
Hmm.
be richer. You are not doing anything
Hmm.
for yourself to be wealthy. So while you are doing that, there's nothing wrong with it.
Hmm.
Like I said, I always salute to myself that I still go to work casually because I love my
Yeah.
life. I still want to be having content to speak on wellness. So I love to still go to work just for that reason and not a lot. But
But
I'm
we
already
must
like
not focus
putting
on it.
exactly. So that is all that this book is all about. Now,
Hmm.
the other one is start the money game on time that I wrote about is the basics of real estate investments. I wrote that book because of all the horror stories that people that in my space are making because of their mistakes. There was one that even touched me. That day was the day I made up my mind to read that book. What that man went through. Said, in
Hmm.
fact, a lot of them will tell us about what the tenants are doing for them. And I've been there. So now we are wiser. No tenant messes around our properties because we had to.
Hmm.
Our tenant screening is so thorough. But then this man said this tenant practically pushed him out of the house, changed the key
Ah,
of. I'm telling you,
the tenant.
with the tenant,
Hmm.
not only that, a
Wow.
lot. That's just because of my time. A lot of mistakes
Hmm.
that people made, that I've already made as well. And I said, and some of them will come to us. Please, what can I do? Please, go. Some will go, they will invest money, they will put deposit. They don't have an idea how they're going to close the house. They just feel because
Hmm.
the builder is asking, pay 5,000, and every month for 3 months, and they do that, and they're stuck. They can't close. They lose their money. I've had a lot of people who have
Hmm.
lost money. I would say that's not how to do real estate. So I said, what? I'm going to sit down. It's when I'm here and write book on how you can do,
Yeah.
especially if you are just starting. Get this,
Starting.
get your team ready, know the team, the right lawyer, why you should get the right lawyer, the realtor you should deal with, one you should know with,
Hmm.
the accountant, the insurance agent. I've go through
Wow,
the
that is powerful.
preparation and a lot of things you need to do. That was
Hmm.
why I wrote this book, just to help people so that tomorrow some people will come, oh, how do I do this and fix this? I have it in
Go
that
and
book.
get my book. Yeah.
And all my mistakes I've made, I also wrote it so you
Yeah.
can learn.
Oh wow, that is so powerful. And And as we were talking, a question came to my head that I want us quickly address. If it's so, because now we're looking at people that maybe they started early. What about somebody that maybe the time has gone? They didn't start on time. Now maybe they are in their 50s, for example. Where can they start from?
It's never too late, ma. People
Mm,
start making money even when
mm,
they are very, very old. You are the one that wrote in
mm.
one of your book, the KFC,
The KFC
Sanders.
guy. Yes.
Yeah,
Colonel
made
Sanders.
money.
He started at 66.
Exactly. So you are talking about
Mm,
50. When did we
mm.
start? I started late because I finished my nursing around 40. I practiced for about 10 years,
Wow.
around about 50 that we started. It wasn't
Mm,
too very about 10 years in
wow.
the journey. We're over 40.
Mm.
Now I'm encouraging my children to start early now. You guys are early now.
Yes.
But
Mm,
even where you are, even at 66, we have a couple, they're also pastor elders in the church,
mm,
and they came and they were saying one of them was 70, say, if only I had met you people 20 years ago.
mm,
And we told him
mm,
it's never too late.
mm,
And we
mm,
did all the consulting thing, it took everything. Said, at least I'm going to do this. There's a lot he still took home out of that consulting sessions that it was going to start changing. There were a lot of things that he didn't even realize he needed to change. But because he did, he took steps, he
mm,
started. So even when you are 80, and more importantly, one other thing he says is that I'm happy I'm going through this journey because I'm going to make sure that my children don't repeat this mistake. I'm going to start
mm,
teaching them on time. So he started transferring the knowledge. He actually bought the intellectual properties. He
mm.
bought all those things that
Okay,
he learned.
wow.
When we are doing Zoom meeting with our clients, they can choose to buy the intellectual. He said, I'm going to buy. I don't want my child to. That transfer of
Mm,
knowledge is also another addition. They can
mm,
leverage, but it's never too late.
mm,
As somebody is writing on
mm.
the chat,
Yeah,
it's
on
never
the
too
chart. Yeah, it's
yeah,
never too
because
late.
at your old age, when you haven't started, that's when you said it all. That's when you maybe you don't have as much strength as to run around to do 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You need money, and your needs are increasing. So are you going to sit there and say, because I made mistake, I didn't start on time,
Mm,
and you're not going to start anything? No. Who are you going to depend on? The government, your children? No. I've had a lot about from children who will tell me, look, I'm not. I've told my mom I'm not going to take care of her. I told it. I'm telling you.
mm,
A colleague of mine once said that. I was shocked. I said, what? And I thought she and her mom are very close because she would tell me, oh, my mom is coming around to help me to walk my dog, to do this. Suddenly, I just had that one day.
they
I've
don't
told my
joke with
mom,
those
oh,
things.
I'm not going to be the one for she should start putting her pension. So what am I saying? So
Mm,
it's important. Don't think it's too late. At least get something doing. It's also good for you
wow,
for for, for your own self
wow,
development.
wow.
So
Whew, this has been loaded. Thank you, everyone that has joined us. It's been wonderful. I was just highlighting the books. We have the Intentional Financial Independence. In fact, the nuggets that she shared today, there are just so many. They are. I'm going to go back and rewatch. And for those that might just be joining us, you might want to go and rewatch because there were something that that she started with, and it was just so powerful. I believe that everybody should watch this session. It would really open up, even if you're someone that has started, you're at a level of being financial free. I often find that sessions like this begin to even cause your mind to come alive again,
yeah,
and you begin to think like I said, when you're talking about Proverbs 31, I'm like, wow, I'm going to go back and literally read, because sometimes when you go back and you look at it and you listen again, new ideas even come to you,
yeah.
and new opportunities. But other than that, I want to say thank you, man. Today's session has been wonderful. It has been like so eye opening. The nuggets you shared. I tried to type after a while. I just stopped. I just started writing in my notebook because the
I was
nuggets
too
were
fast.
so
Sorry
very
about
good.
that.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. At least I got them in my notes. I will share some of them online. Thank you,
Uh,
everyone that joined us. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. What would your last words be, ma, in 1 minute as we wrap this up?
Thank you so much, number one, for having me. I'm so very, very grateful. I don't take it for granted. My last word for everyone, and thank you also for everyone that has been able to join and those that will be watching later.
Yeah.
My last word is this: the scripture is very, very clear
Mm,
about the promises of God regarding our financial health or our wealth creation. That's
yeah.
why that second, 3 John 2 said, Beloved, I
Yeah.
wish above all things that thou prosper, even as thy soul prospers. And when God said that He delights in the prosperity of His people,
Yeah.
it's His pleasure. There's
Hmm.
nothing we gain by not flowing into
Hmm.
that promise, by not allowing that promise to come. So the disconnect is always as a result of the gap that is created by
Hmm.
our knowledge deficit. My own encouragement for people that may want to consider is get the knowledge. I told us what Warren Buffett said. When I heard that,
Mm-hmm.
he said, learn. These
Learn.
skills, they
Hmm.
are learnable. They are learnable skills. There's not any of us cannot do in, enriching ourselves or creating wealth for us, or embarking on the journey to be able to, to better ourselves. And my own encouragement for us is, please start.
Hmm.
Even when you make mistake, you will learn and you become better.
Hmm. Hmm. So that's our key. Our key word we are taking today is learn.
Learn.
We can, every one of us can learn. We can learn, we can get better no matter where we are. We can, and then the more we learn, like you said, the more we can apply it.
Yes.
So the more we learn, and then it also reduces our mistakes as we learn.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ma. We are most grateful. Thank you, everyone that has joined us. Thank you, and those that will still watch this as well. I hope that you're able to take one or two things from this. I have taken a whole notebook from it. I'm going to glean from it. I'm so grateful. I want to say thank you so much to you, man.
Thank
Tomorrow we have another session also on finance. That's how important financial health is.
mm,
I just believe there's so much we can learn and we can glean from. Yes, thank you. Let me say thank you to her. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone. I
Tomorrow
appreciate
we have
you.
another session, another session on financial health as well. It's going to be another one of them, and we're going to be building on what we've even spoken about today. So if you're not
Mm,
able, and if you're able, if you're going to be watching, after we finish the live session, put your comments there. And also, I wanted to say, if you have questions, please put your questions. If you have questions, you can send your questions to Pastors Wives Global on Instagram, or you can put it on the comments. I would get the questions and we can send them to her to help us answer whatever questions we have. So maybe there are
mm,
questions that you have, we
mm,
can we'll be able to to put them in the comments, and then we can send them to her as well. So that's where we're going to wrap up today's session.
mm.
Everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye bye. See you
Welcome.
tomorrow.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. God
Bye
bless you all.
everyone.
Thank you, Ma.